Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Ready to Love, Make a Move, Season 1, Episode 13, The Final Word. Listen, if you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. Let me tell y'all something, baby. This reunion right here was unhinged. Okay? It was baby, it was unhinged. You had noise from the peanut gallery. Tamika, baby. We do not need you on now another piece of a season. This was a disaster. Okay, do you hear me? A damn disaster. So when the episode first opens up, you know they still fussing. Sharice still standing up, screaming and whatnot. Ma'am, sit down. Sit down. So then Vernisha starts saying that Sharice was bullied as a child and she's always needing to defend herself. And so Tamika and Tanika feel like it's sibling rivalry and Sharice doesn't understand that they're not saying anything bad about her. I get all that. Everybody been through something. Okay, I used to get bullied when I was in school. Don't mean I'm going to go around and become an adult bully. Like, I'm sorry, but she agreed with him, but Sharice needs to grow up and heal. Sharice, the world isn't against you. It's not. Okay, just calm down and listen more than you speak. You're too damn old to still be harboring what happened in elementary school. So Dawn, Kirsten, Ashley, and Donald's friend, his friend girl, now they're all on the stage. So they show Ashley's time on the show with the one she chose and the one she wanted to choose her. The way that Ashley and Donald are sitting so far apart from each other, I can already tell that they're not together. And I knew they wouldn't be, but here we are. So Ashley says she chose Donald because he looked like he was ready. So Tanika said, so Kirsten, how were things with you and Ashley? He said, it was okay. I don't have nothing else to add. She said, you don't have anything else to say? I ain't got nothing else to add. So Ashley up there speaking her speech, talking about, I wanted to choose someone not based on us having chemistry. Ma'am, he don't want to hear all that. So just giving that whole spiel about you wanted to choose someone that's not your norm and out of your character and all. Ashley, oh girl, he don't give a damn. Okay, he doesn't even want to speak. He's giving nothing, just like he gave during the season. Absolutely nothing. He's not saying a thing. So he's sitting there. He's like, listen, I'm just here because I signed a contract. So basically I'm here so I don't get fined. All the women are like, you can't just sit there. You're on a TV show. You're going to need to say something. I'm going to need you to say something, baby. Like, I'm going to need you to say something. Baby, this don't make no sense. Shout out to Drake. You going to have to say something. So then Tanika said, well, if you don't want to speak, then you can leave. He said, all right. So he gets up and he leaves. He said, if that will please the crowd, then I will leave. She said, yeah, you can go ahead and go. So baby, he gets up and walks off. Kirsten, you're childish. Okay, you are childish. So in the back, they're like, you don't want to speak your speech? He's like, I don't want to speak nothing. I know who I am. I already told y'all I didn't want to do this. So they trying to figure out there, why was he acting a fool? Here go Vernisha talking about men hate rejection, any kind of rejection. They just hate rejection. Ma'am, you are wrong. This is not about rejection. Now, normally I would rock with that. I would be like, you know what, these men be in their feelings, baby. They be having their boxers in a bunch. But this is not about that. He did not mind being rejected by Ashley because he didn't like Ashley. He actually welcomed it. He wasn't even trying. He probably really was mad about people saying that he was flirting with Stormy. Baby, I don't trust it as far as I can throw it. And he ain't fooling me. Because why do you have such an attitude when you were let go for the second time? You seem to be on the up and up. You came in with your Werther's chocolates and your Hallmark card from the local Walgreens. And you were acting like everything was everything. Then you come in here today looking how you looking with your little blue hat on. And now you got an attitude. So it's telling me either you got somebody back at the house or somebody backstage, allegedly, and now you're mad because you were shown exactly how you are. And that's flirting with someone that's supposedly her friend. So child, off with him. And he got on about his business, child. Moving forward. So then they move on to Ashley and Donald. His friend was basically saying, listen, if I would have met this Ashley, then I would have liked her. Well, girl, you didn't even get to know her. You just went in based off what Donald told you. Now, don't get me wrong. Ashley can be a lot, But I don't think it was fair that the friend just went in immediately. Like, didn't even give the woman a chance. You just went in. But side note, you look very pretty. I love your natural hair. I love it. I just love everything about it. You looked pretty. Your makeup was nice. It was refreshing. I loved your twist out. You just looked all to the pretty. You really did. You looked pretty. That's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. Back to the mess. So Donald finally started speaking up for himself. And he said, he was quiet because Ashley was saying things that he didn't like she was the star of the show and he was there for her. She's like, you were. And you were. So he's like, I didn't like that. So I let my friend speak up for me, because if I would have jumped in, then it would have looked like we were double teaming Ashley. Now, from my perspective, I feel like you went run told that to your friend, and your friend is speaking for you because, you're not a confrontational type man. Now, on the one hand, if he would have confronted Ashley and got into a little bit of a spat verbally, people would have been like, well, why are you speaking to a woman that way? Why are you arguing with a woman? So I think he took it back to his friend for his friend to do the arguing for him. But Ashley, I understand you think you're the star of the show and whatnot, honey, and you probably been thinking that since forever, but it's the way in which you approached him. Because if you're going to say you want to make a move with him and you want to continue this thing that y'all got going on, you can't be dogging the man and talking about his wardrobe and everything else. You have to give him an opportunity to show and prove. And you didn't do that. You were dogging him every chance you got. If you ain't like him, why you bring him and his loafers back? Why? It don't make no sense. But on the one hand, I can understand that the women are in power. So he is, in fact, there for you. But I think you have a little bit of a power trip. Girl, calm down, you and your headdress. Moving forward. So Ashley was like, well, basically we're friends. So we're going to leave it right there. And if it goes any further, I'll shoot y'all an email and let y'all know. I'll contact the people down at OWN and say, listen, OWN, we cool. Girl, you ain't got to check in and they ain't got to check in with you because this was just for the show. Then they show Sharice's time on the show. So her keepers are on the stage, Maurice and Ezell. And yes, I did say Ezell, and I know his damn name is Mizell. They're all on the stage. Sharice is telling us, they went to Essence Fest. They had front row seats. She was basically on the stage, 1-2 stepping and jigging down in New Orleans. And baby, they found love. Now that we found love, what are we gonna do with it? Child, not the Reeses have found love. The two peanut butter cups will be together forever. It worked, y'all. It worked for somebody. Surprisingly, it worked for Sharice. Now, the two of them are stiffer than a board, so they didn't look like they were actually together, but for them, it's looking like love. And I actually do like them together. All jokes aside, they actually compliment each other. They look really nice together. Maurice, is that velvet? I said, is that velvet? I love to give Maurice a hard time. But nah, the Reeses, y'all cool. Y'all cool with me. If y'all like it, I love it. Now, baby, on to Ezell. Let's move on to Ezell and him wanting to talk to Vernisha. So they're telling him that he should have closed one chapter first before he started trying to talk to Vernisha. Vernisha is like, he wanted to date me. He texted me pictures of him, his dog, his mama, them, his house, where he be going on Thursday nights. He texted me. He wanted me. I'm like, okay, girl, calm down. So Vernisha is like, you shouldn't have downplayed me. Because I didn't even care about going on a date with you. If you really want to be real, if you really want to be frank, I told her about it because that's just who I am as a person. So then Zadia was like, you probably could have gotten away with it if we didn't talk to each other. In the real world, you might have gotten away with it. Now, let's be for real. As much and as sleazy as Ezell is, Vernisha, you were entertaining it. And you turned around and got mad when he was still trying to save face with Sharice because you thought I'm Vernisha. Okay, body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. I am Vernisha. So of course this man wants me because the way that you presented it to Sharice was not, girl, I'm trying to give you a heads up. The way you presented it to her was, girl, he been texting me. Oh, he ain't call you. Oh, girl, he been calling me. Oh, well, girl, I'm thinking about going out with him. I am. I'm just like trying to let you know. That's how you presented it to her. Okay, so both y'all was wrong. Because why did you even give him your number? So that means you were with it as much as he was with it. But I mean, let's just be for real. Like, I know people like Vernisha. Vernisha is a very nice lady. Yes, she is. But two wrongs don't make a right. And I'm not going to just sit here and put it all on Mizell because, baby, you had to participate. So then Sharice was like, well, I knew it wasn't going to work because you're the oldest of your brothers and you're still not married. Well, damn. Mizell think he's slick. He was just there to find more women to waste their time, trying to add some people to that bedpost, and he ain't fooling me. So now it's time for Vernisha and the Abaris, because you know she had Tabari and Jabari. So we revisit her time on the show, and I was just looking and I was like, why Tabari always look like he fresh off work? He always looked like he just came from somebody's office. So anywho, Tanika asked if Vernisha had any regrets. She said no. So then they asked about Jabari. She said, you know, Jabari did everything that he could. He included me in everything. Even when we were not filming, if he was doing something, he was taking me. No matter what was going on, we communicated all the time. It was all good. The only thing is, I don't think our lifestyles match. Because, you know, he want her to be in bed by 8 o'clock with her bonnet on. So he was like, you know, I was just basically saying when she comes home, I want her to turn that boss hat off because you're not the boss in the house. You have to turn it off. So she said, well, it's never been an issue with any of my relationships. I mean, I can't turn it all the way off because sometimes I'm up until 2 or 3 in the morning and I'm working. He then gets misogynistic and says, you know, with so many hats, when do you have time to be a woman? When do you have time to cater to your man? Well, I didn't damn know she was a part of DC3. I ain't know she was Michelle Kelly and them. Talking about some, let me cater to you, cause baby, this is your day. Sir, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. When he said, when do you have time to be a woman? I said, say what now? Time to be a woman? Then he gonna say, you know, men shouldn't have to bend to a woman. Bending. I'm not gonna be bending to no woman as no man. So what this gave me was that Jabari has very archaic values. Nothing wrong with gender roles. If that's what you like, then that's what you like. But I don't like the way that he is so hell bent on having his way only, and he doesn't seem to compromise. That's what it's giving me. He seems like he wants you to be barefoot and pregnant. Okay, you stay in the kitchen and I'm gonna go out and hunt for the food. Now, if that's what you like, that's what you like. And again, now we have different hats that we wear, and you have to be a very confident man. So you stating, well, I don't want to bend. I shouldn't have to bend to no woman. If you're in a relationship with someone, you should be able to compromise with them. And I don't think that Jabari has that in him. So Tanika asked if he was dating. He said yes. And she was like, oh, I didn't even know those types of women existed anymore. Yeah, there are women that believe in traditional gender roles, and that is okay as well. But I don't want you to hit me over the head with no damn club and drag me back to your lair. Honey, that ain't gonna work for me. Now on to Tabari. So Tabari said, you know, he felt like when she let him go, they fell out after that. It's one thing to end things, but it kind of felt like a falling out, and his character was berated on the show. So she was like, well, listen, I feel like I had to beg you for stuff, which I've never had to do. He says communication works both ways. And your body language was not very inviting. She was like, I don't know how to chase no man. He said, it's not about chasing me. It's just about communicating with me as well. I mean, now I can see that. I can see Vernisha's body language not being invited because you could see it through the screen. It's like she had a disdain for him. But I remembered this, okay, because I don't want to get too much on Vernisha. I remembered this. Remember when I told y'all a few reviews back, it was Zadia's rooftop birthday party. And I said I didn't like the way that Tabari came into the party and basically just stood back and didn't greet Vernisha. I knew then that there was a disconnect, because if you were really feeling her like that, you would have greeted her. He stood across from her and said, hi, Vernisha, how are you doing? And I was just like, that's strange. But when he explained it here, he said that she didn't feel inviting, and she, you know, to him, it felt like she didn't want him in her personal space. So maybe that could have been what it was. But I can kind of see what Vernisha is talking about, because Tabari used to just file back in the cut. And I'm just like, sir, do you like her or what? So, I mean, I can see both sides. But also, you know, I get cutting them off if they don't communicate. I get that. You know, if you're not going to communicate with me, then I don't cut him off. Okay, cut him off. But again, I stand on the feeling of Vernisha presented cold towards him. She just did. She presented like she did not want to be bothered with him. Even Tanika wanted to know, girl, is it more behind him? Because you won't even look at the man. And she's like, no, I'm just saying girl, look, you gave that you were constantly annoyed by Tabari. Every single episode. You gave, I don't really want to be here, but I already let go of my keeper, so here we are. Even while he was speaking on his couch, you were rolling your eyes. Like, I think she's used to men fawning over her and not having to work too hard. But I see nothing wrong with both you and the man communicating with each other, especially when you're trying to get to know someone. It's not about chasing them. It's about mutual communication. There's nothing wrong with that. I do not think that there is anything wrong with communicating with the man as well. And you know, another thing I wanted to say too, because this just trips me out. Since this is the final episode, so I just want to talk about it. It just trips me out how everybody is like, oh yeah, he should have communicated with Vernisha. He should have communicated with Vernisha. Everybody's okay. This is cool. Vernisha saying he don't communicate, so let him go. But when it was Ashley saying that Donald wasn't reaching out to her, everybody's like, the phone worked both ways. Which one is it? Do you want them to communicate both ways? Or if they don't communicate, cut them off? Because the situations to me seem different. So I just want to know which one it is. But to me, I feel like you should be able to communicate just as well as he should. Now, she said he was missing for days. He said he wasn't. She said he was. It's the case of he say, she say. Child, I guess we're going to find out when they be doing them lives and whatnot. Moving forward. So on the stage now is Stormy and Camille. So Tanika asked Camille why Zadia wasn't trusting her. And Camille said, have you seen him? It's because he's cute. I mean, he okay. It ain't enough for me to go stupid. The man was giving nothing but photo ops. He was booked and busy, and it wasn't with Zadia. So then we talked to Ashley about Stormy's recruiting and flirting with Kirsten. So Stormy looking at the screen all shocked like, what? Because she obviously was not privy to this information, especially what was going down in the confessional. So she looking at the screen like, I know you fucking lying. Stormy said, listen, that's how I show up. When I go out with my friends, I dress up. That's how I show up. So Ashley goes, well, you know, for me, I'm not showing up like old girl on Soul Food to your wedding. I'm not showing up in a sparkly dress to your birthday party. Okay, Ashley, one of those. She don't want to outshine the birthday girl or don't dress better than me when you come to my event. Baby, I want all my friends to shine. Baby, please don't come tacky. Because then I ain't gonna even want you in my pictures. Okay, I want every last one of us to look like something. Now, don't get me wrong now. Don't wear too much at my wedding though, because you ain't supposed to outshine the bride. But for my birthday dinner and things like that, I don't see a problem with all of my friends looking good. Why you don't want your friends to look good? She was like, it's about respect. So Ashley is telling her it's like she wasn't even there for her. She was more there for Kirsten. Stormy said, well, listen, you talked to me after that and you didn't say none of this. So Zadia is trying to offer some advice to Ashley. Girl, sit back. This was the thing about this reunion. Everybody was talking too much and people were getting on my nerves. Like at one point, Vernisha was really getting on my nerves. Ashley was getting on my nerves. Sharice got on my nerves. The only person that didn't get on my nerves was Zadia. Like, I was like, oh, y'all getting on my nerves, y'all. Zadia is trying to offer advice and Stormy storms off stage. She's crying because they got her looking like a home wrecker. Ashley goes to the back like, girl, I never wanted you to look bad. I'm sorry. We're just having a moment. Ashley, you sat in front of Tamika and said that the woman had taken over your entire date, which she did. Based on what we saw, Stormy, you were flirting. Okay? I mean, the editors can only use what you give them. And you were flirting with him and he was flirting back, which is why he decided to storm off stage instead of speak his speech. So Sharice goes, see, that's why I don't do girls. She over there whispering, ma'am, that's not a flex. You know what? It seems like your attitude won't allow you to cultivate friendships with other women. Women probably don't do you either. It's not always mess when you know how to be a friend. Not all women are drama filled. I think you have such a chip on your shoulder. You go in thinking somebody finna do you wrong. Girl, get a grip. Talking about that's why you don't do girls. Anyway, Ashley and Stormy, they come back out. They say they good. They say they friends. They gonna work through it. Now, really and truly, I bet Stormy ain't gonna never mess with Ashley again for real. I know I wouldn't. I'll be like, girl, I'm good. Honey took me on that show and had the world thinking I'm trying to take your man, even though it did look like I was trying to take your man. And Stormy, you said after the episode, based on what you were saying over there in them Facebook groups, that you wasn't even Ashley's friend for real. And you didn't know where you were going when you had that bodycon dress on. You just showed up. You were casted to go on Ready to Love. And you and Ashley ain't cool like that. So which one is it? All y'all be lying. Okay, now last but not least, Cameron, his chain, and Zadia. So baby, we see her time on the show with Cam. Side note, Why did I realize the only time Cam closed that shirt up was when he was trying to break it off with Zadia? I said, that's the only time them damn clothes been closed up, because he closed off. I said, not that shirt closed. I don't know what made me pay attention to that, but y'all know I give y'all a whole lot of detail. And I noticed that shirt was closed up. So anywho, Tanika asked where they are now. Nowhere, but let's see what he got to say. Cameron said, well, work got in the way. She said, so you didn't go to D.C.? He said, well, no, I thought I was ready, but actually I wasn't ready to put in the work to build with someone. Anyway, they pan over to Sharice. Not Sharice laughing. Baby, hush. Okay? Be very careful, because Maurice may not work out either. And then you're going to be crying instead of smiling. See, that's why you can't keep a friend. And Cameron, you're full of excuses. Now, I can't say I'm shocked, because you have been saying it in no uncertain terms all season. I don't know what everybody else was watching. Zadia said, he was saying that he was in it because I kept asking him. He kept saying yes, and I was trusting his yes. He said, well, I was calling you. I could have been gone. Another dude would have walked out the door. And see, that's when I knew he was playing that role. I knew that he was just going along to get along, because he's making her seem like she's a burden. Well, I was calling you. I could have been doing something else. If you don't want to, then you ain't got to damn do it. So then Vernisha takes over. See, this is what I'm saying. This is when they were starting to get on my nerves. Vernisha takes over and starts speaking her speech about, their hearts being on the line, and she got 3 kids. Girl, sit back. He told that lady that he wanted out several times. Now, yes, I do agree that your hearts are on the line, but in that same sentence, you have also stated that he was very clear and he did his part, and that Zadia didn't want to hear it. So what are you talking about? Y'all just be talking. And Cameron, you should have not let Tamika coerce you into continuing with Zadia. You should have just ripped the Band-Aid off. Like, just be a man about it. Honey, let Tony Braxton tell you about it. So Cameron tells her that I have a gift for her. I even have a gift for her. So they're like, oh, go ahead, go get the gift. Child, he goes and grabs this picture of her. Sir, we don't want this 13x6. We don't give a damn. We don't want this photo. If she wanted, she can get it off Instagram and go blow it up down to CVS. She doesn't want it. Okay? She don't want that. He just wants to showcase his work one last time. Boy, gone. So he gonna say, well, what we built, it wasn't fake. She said it wasn't. He said, well, what we built wasn't fake. And, you're sitting here telling me how I should have been. So I feel like it was a relief when we stopped filming. Ooh-wee. Zadia said it was a relief when I left. She said, you know what? I would have loved for you to have expressed that to me sooner. Zadia, he did. Okay? He expressed it several times, but he should have stood on it. Because see, the thing is, Cameron is double-minded. Whenever he was presented with a follow-up question, he switched. Keep that same energy. If you go in and say, listen, I don't have a lot of time, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. Keep that. Even if you feel like it's going to hurt her feelings. Because in the end, you embarrassed her tonight. Like, he straight up embarrassed her. So Tamika asked if he's dating. He's like, nah, I'm single. Single than a $1 bill, honey. He say he's single. So then he says, I've changed. Like, I've learned how to foster a relationship. Being in it, I wanted to try with her, and I felt like, okay, maybe it'll click, but it didn't. Like, I'm supposed to be doing interviews right now to hire somebody to work for my back office, but I'm here with you, and we need to wrap this up. Baby Cam is showing his whole ass. Do you hear me? That change should say ASS instead of Terror Squad or whatever it be saying. Y'all know I say. That change should say ASS. Do you hear me? He giving donkey of the day. Shout out to the Breakfast Club. So Zadia tells him, well, you know what? Don't do me any other favors, honey. You can go ahead and head on out. So he gonna hug her and leave and smile on his way out the door. I would not have let him touch me. Do you hear me? I felt bad for Zadia in that moment. I really did. But Zadia, you put all your eggs in the wrong damn basket, girl. I told you 5 reviews ago to let that man quit you. I told you that. And now you're sitting here with this wall portrait that you can't do nothing with. Baby, these men are trash bags. It's time to sit them out on the curb for the trash to pick them up. I can tell that Zadia was furious, though, and she was trying to hold it inside. I just know she was embarrassed and upset. I mean, I'm sure she would have let him have it if they were in private. And he better be glad he did not get the Zadia that Dante met at that restaurant. Because the way she threw that picture down on that floor told me she still got it in her. I said, baby, she ready to flip him off. Baby, she ready to go off. Now some of the men are back on stage for one last hurrah. Tamika wants to know if Donald is still willing to make a move. So then Tanika talking about, well, I don't know. Are you, Donald? Here goes Tamika. They need to see each other. That's what they need to do. They need to see each other. So Ashley gets up and pulls him to the back. Ashley, why are you gapping your legs so wide that it had to be blurred out? Girl, contain your Hello Kitty. I said, girl, how old are you? Opening your legs all wide like that. So she gets up, runs off to the back to make a scene instead of make a move. Sharice over there talking about they're going to have sex? What? Ew. Baby, this is a mess. So Sharice is disgusted. Donald is busted. Kirsten can't be trusted. And Cam neither. So they come back to the set or whatever. Tamika, I want to say this to you because I'm speaking directly to you, honey. Why would you suggest sex to fix this mess? Why? I wouldn't even jokingly say they need to have sex. That's what it is. That is disgusting. Okay? That is a disgusting way for you to tell Ashley, just give your body to him, girl, and maybe that'll make it better. No, that's not what we're doing in 2024. Even though this was in 2023, we're not gonna just give our body to no man so we can get to know him better. Girl, what? Get these people off my screen, honey. I ain't got time. Tamika gives some parting words and says she's proud of them. Girl, bye. These men were dumpster juice and the women deserved better, and you ain't no matchmaker. Because don't think I forgot that you didn't even barely like your husband over there on Southern Charm, New Orleans. That could be seen on Peacock. And that was the end of the season. Child, y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about Reunion Part 1A. Or 1B, because I feel like the 15 minutes we got last week was not really a reunion. It was just like Sharice yelling, and this was the actual reunion. Child, this right here is a fool. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.